You are not tired because life is heavy. You are tired because your mind is heavy. Man, most of what you carry is not real weight. It is imagined urgency. It is pressure you accepted without questioning. Okay? It is the belief that if you do not tense, you will fail. But tension is not strength. Noise is not clarity. Force is not mastery. The world teaches you to tighten, to rush, to prove, to react. But power is built in the opposite direction. Power is built in stillness. Power is built in control. Power is built in the space between stimulus and response. Or means if you cannot remain calm under pressure, then pressure owns you. And if pressure owns you, you are not free. BDS true strength is not how much you can carry. True strength is how little you need to carry to move forward. Most people believe pressure makes them sharper. Okay? They believe stress keeps them focused. They believe tension is a sign of commitment. But what they are really doing is living in survival mode. When you live in survival, the body is tight. The breath is shallow. The mind becomes narrow. In this state, you are not powerful. You are reactive. Shriyan's reaction is not mastery. Reaction is habit. A disciplined mind does not rush to respond. It creates space. In that space, you regain choice. And where there is choice, there is power. The calm is not the absence of intensity. Calm is the presence of control. Look at water. When water is still, it reflects clearly. When water is disturbed, everything becomes distorted. Your mind is the same. A disturbed mind sees problems where there are none. A disturbed mind turns small challenges into heavy burdens. A disturbed mind wastes energy fighting shadows. Pressure clouds perception. Calm sharpens it. You do not need more force. You need more awareness. Most people try to dominate life with effort. They push harder, they grip tighter. They hold their breath and call it determination. But a clenched fist cannot receive. A tense body cannot adapt. A pressured mind cannot see opportunity. This is why calm is strength, because calm allows you to see, calm allows you to breathe, calm allows you to adjust instead of break. Man's in training, we do not build power by being tense all the time. Okay, we build power by relaxing into correct structure. When the structure is correct, effort becomes efficient. When the structure is wrong, effort becomes exhausting. Life is no different. Many people are exhausted not because they do too much, but because they do everything with tension. They wake up tense. They work tense, they think tense, they rest tense, even their relaxation is forced. This is not discipline. This is self-violence. Discipline is knowing when to apply force and when to release it. Discipline is knowing when to move and when to be still. Discipline is knowing that constant pressure destroys sensitivity. Me, a warrior who is always tense becomes slow. A mind that is always pressured becomes dull. Calm keeps you sharp. Calm keeps you flexible. Calm keeps you alive to what is actually happening, not what you fear might happen. Depression comes from living in the future, from rehearsing problems that have not arrived, from carrying outcomes that are not yet real. Calm lives in the present, and power only exists in the present. Amends. You cannot act in yesterday. You cannot move in tomorrow. All strength is now. Pungence. So, when you release pressure, you are not becoming lazy, you are becoming accurate. Accuracy beats intensity. Precision beats panic. Clarity beats force. A calm person does not need to prove their strength. Their presence is enough. Their breathing is steady. Their movements are intentional. They are not rushed by life. They move with life. Amend. This is why calm is feared by chaotic minds. Because calm exposes unnecessary effort. Calm reveals wasted energy. Okay, calm shows you how much of your struggle is self-created. Let go of pressure and you will feel uncomfortable at first because your identity may be built on struggle. You may believe that if you are not stressed, you are not serious. But seriousness is not tension. Commitment is not anxiety. Dedication is not suffering. True dedication is quiet. True seriousness is steady. True strength does not announce itself. It is felt in control. It is felt in patience. It is felt in the ability to remain centered when others are shaken. Man, when you train calm, you train sovereignty over yourself. No situation controls your breath. No pressure controls your mind. No chaos controls your direction. This is not passive. This is supreme authority. Ben, when you master calm, you master the gateway to all real power. Because a calm mind does not break. A calm mind adapts. A calm mind endures. A calm mind wins. Without noise, without panic, without unnecessary weight. Sombenda. This is how you let go of pressure, not by escaping life, but by meeting. This is the beginning of real mastery, and from here you must understand something that changes everything. Most of your suffering does not come from what you are doing. It comes from what you're trying to control. You exhaust yourself not by effort, but by resistance. James, you resist how people behave. You resist how life unfolds. You resist outcomes that are not yet decided. Unbanned, this resistance feels like showing strength, but it is only tension disguised as control. Men's, there is a difference between responsibility and burden. Responsibility is focused, burden is scattered. Responsibility says, I will train my actions. Burden says, I must pia everything. Burden says, I must manage everything. One creates power, the other creates pressure. And banned. You were not designed to command the entire world. You were designed to command yourself. Your breath is yours. Your effort is yours. Your preparation is yours. Your attitude is yours. These are areas of true authority. This is where discipline belongs. But when you try to control what is outside your reach, you leak energy. You create inner conflict. You divide your attention. Lemta, divided mind, is a weak mind. Not because it lacks intelligence, but because its power is scattered. MBM, focused. A focused mind is calm. A calm mind is efficient. An efficient mind does not waste strength on the uncontrollable. Dhamya. You may try to control how others see you. You may try to control whether they approve. You may try to control whether they understand. This is one of the heaviest burdens you can carry. And no amount of effort can make another person think for you, feel for you, or grow for you. Gents. When you try, you abandon your own training. True discipline is not manipulation. True discipline is alignment. Alignment with what is real. Alignment with what is in your hands. Alignment with what you can directly shape through daily practice. When you place your energy there, pressure dissolves into purpose. MDO purpose is light, pressure is heavy, the past cannot be controlled, replaying it does not refine it. Punishing yourself does not improve it. The future cannot be commanded, worrying about it does not prepare it. But this moment, this breath, this choice is always available. This is where calm power lives. When you release what is not yours to manage, you do not become careless, you become precise. MG precision is a form of respect for your limited energy, respect for your limited time, respect for your true capacity. A master does not waste arrows on unreachable targets. A disciplined mind does not fight imaginary battles. Many people are tired from wars that exist only in their thoughts. Arguments that never happened, failures that have not occurred, judgments that may never come. They live in defense of shadows. Emedy calm power lives in reality, not in imagination. Reality asks only for right action now, not perfect outcomes later. Not total control, only correct direction. This is why letting go is not weakness. Letting go is intelligence. Being you let go so you can hold what matters. You release so you can grip what is real. You step back so your vision becomes clear. When you stop carrying what is not yours, you suddenly feel lighter. Not because life became easy, No, but because you stop making it heavy, control your effort, control your training, control your response, release the rest. This balance creates quiet strength. Quiet strength creates endurance. Endurance creates long-term success without burnout. You do not need to manage the storm. You need to stabilize the ship. When the ship is stable, right, the storm loses its authority over you. MBLSG, this is how pressure transforms into presence. This is how tension transforms into direction. This is how you move forward, not carrying the world, but carrying yourself with discipline and calm. Bits. And when you master this separation, what is yours and what is not, you free enormous energy that can now be placed into growth, into training, into becoming sharper, steadier, and stronger without strain. Gene, this is not escape. This is command. This is how calm power is built. This is how calm power is built. And once you stop wasting energy on what you cannot command, your mind begins to settle. Right? Not because life becomes silent, right? But because your inner noise decreases. When the noise decreases, vision improves. A calm mind does not mean a slow mind. It means an undistorted mind. Mens promors mentes. Most mistakes are not caused by lack of effort. They are caused by lack of clarity. Blend. When the mind is crowded, every decision feels urgent. When everything feels urgent, nothing is chosen with precision. Lambier's urgency is a form of blindness. It forces you to move before you see. Bendy calm allows you to see before you move. In training, if your eyes are tense, your movements become tense. If your breathing is shallow, your timing becomes poor. The same is true in life. A pressured mind narrows its field of view. It sees threats faster than it sees options. Okay. It reacts to symptoms instead of understanding causes. This is why stressed people feel busy, but not effective. They move constantly, but they move in circles. Calm breaks this cycle. Calm creates distance between stimulus and action. Okay. In that distance, insight appears. You begin to notice patterns instead of problems. You begin to recognize timing instead of forcing results. You begin to sense when to act and when to wait. MBA, this sensitivity is power. A dull mind uses force. A sensitive mind uses timing. Timing requires stillness. Stillness sharpens perception. Ambindus. When the water is still, you can see the bottom. When your mind is still, you can see truth. Mandra's truth is often quiet. Pressure is loud. Many people miss truth because they are addicted to noise of thoughts. Noise of opinions, noise of imagined futures. Calm turns the volume down. What remains is what matters. Mantras with clarity. You stop overcomplicating. You stop carrying 10 problems when there is really only one. Tembi, you stop reacting to emotion and start responding to reality. Reality is always simpler than fear. Fear multiplies. Clarity simplifies. Mbunja. This is why a calm person appears decisive, not because they rush, but because they see what to ignore, they see what to prioritize, they see what is truly required now. Obendi, a mind under pressure wants certainty. A calm mind accepts uncertainty and moves anyway with awareness. This creates flexibility. Kenneth. Flexibility keeps you alive in changing conditions. Rigid minds break. Flexible minds adapt. Adaptation requires perception. Perception requires calm. Smomand. When you are calm, you do not personalize every event. You do not interpret every obstacle as an attack. You do not carry emotional weight into practical decisions. This is emotional discipline. This is mental economy. Cleanser, you spend your energy where it produces results, not where it feeds anxiety. Band with a calm mind, even difficult situations become teachers. Instead of enemies, you begin to ask better questions. Not why is this happening to me, but what is this showing me? Better questions create better direction. Dementia. This is how clarity compounds day by day. Your judgment becomes cleaner. Your reactions become fewer. Your movements become more exact. You do not need to move more. You need to see more. Seeing more does not come from effort. It comes from quiet. Quiet is not empty. Quiet is precise. In quiet, the unnecessary falls away. What remains is essential. This is how a calm mind sees clearly, not by adding more information, but by removing interference. And when interference is removed, your natural intelligence returns, and then you stop forcing solutions. You allow the right action to reveal itself. This is not mystical. This is practical, Yuka. This is disciplined perception. This is how calm becomes vision. This is how vision becomes correct action. This is how calm power continues to grow. Not louder, not harder, but clearer. But clearer is not enough if there is no structure to support it. Clarity without discipline fades. Discipline is what gives clarity a spine. Pressure demands immediate results. Discipline commits to long results. Amra's pressure says, do more. Now, discipline says, do what is correct daily. One creates bursts, the other creates foundations. Pressure pushes you beyond your limits for short moments. Discipline expands your limits over time. What is built in pressure is often fragile. What is built in discipline is stable. This is why pressure breaks and discipline builds. Under pressure, people borrow energy from tomorrow. They sacrifice sleep. They ignore recovery. They override signals. This creates the illusion of strength. But the body remembers. The mind remembers. Eventually, something gives. Discipline does not steal from tomorrow. Discipline invests in tomorrow. Small, consistent actions seem unimpressive, but they create resilience. They condition the nervous system to remain steady. They train you to move without panic. And BDA disciplined person is not dramatic. They are dependable. They show up when motivation is low. They train when no one is watching. They keep structure when emotions fluctuate. Pressure relies on emotion. Discipline relies on identity. When you identify as someone who trains, who prepares, who remains steady, you do not need pressure to move you. Let you move because it is who you are. Pressure is external. Discipline is internal. External force will always be limited. Internal structure creates unlimited consistency. This is why people who live on pressure burn out. They are always chasing a peak, always trying to recreate intensity. Intensity is not sustainable. Structure is banned. Structure frees you from emotional decision-making. You do not ask, do I feel like it? You ask, is this part of my training? This removes inner conflict. Inner conflict is one of the biggest sources of pressure. When your actions are aligned with your structure, your mind becomes quiet because there is no debate. There is only execution. Pressure creates inner arguments. Discipline creates inner agreement. Agreement creates calm. Calm creates endurance. This is how you outlast those who rely on force, not by being more intense, but by being more consistent. Gendia building does not stand because of one strong day. It stands because of daily reinforcement. Your life is the same. Discipline is invisible in the beginning, but its results are undeniable in the end. Pressure looks powerful in the moment, but its cost is hidden until it is too late. Discipline looks boring, but its reward is freedom from breakdown. This is why discipline builds. It builds capacity. It builds confidence. It builds calm strength that does not crack under load. You do not need more pressure. You need stronger structure. When structure is strong, pressure becomes unnecessary. And when pressure is unnecessary, calm becomes your default. This is how discipline replaces force. This is how building replaces breaking. This is how calm power becomes permanent. This is how calm power becomes permanent. And when calm becomes your foundation, you begin to feel something unexpected. And you feel lighter, not because life removed its challenges, but because you stopped carrying what was never required. Bandit lightness is not carelessness. Lightness is efficiency. A trained body does not carry unnecessary tension. Okay? A trained mind does not carry unnecessary thought. Every extra weight slows you. Every extra worry distracts you. Every extra attachment tightens your movement. Strength is not how much you hold. Strength is how much you can release and still move forward with precision. Being a warrior does not fill their hands with stones and call it power. They keep their hands free so they can respond when the moment arrives. The same is true for your mind. Den blir ernst. When your mind is light, your reactions are fast, your decisions are clean, your energy is available. Heavy minds move slowly, they hesitate, they overthink, they carry emotional baggage into simple actions. Lightness creates flow. Flow creates effort without strain. You begin to do difficult things with less internal resistance. Not because they became easy, but because you stop making them heavy. This is the discipline of release. Determined, you release expectations, you release unnecessary comparisons, you release the need to control outcomes. What remains is focus. What remains is presence. What remains is quiet confidence. Quiet confidence does not announce itself. It moves, it acts, it adapts. This is why lightness is strength, because it allows you to continue when others are exhausted. It allows you to stay flexible when others become rigid. You are not meant to carry life. You are meant to move with it. When you move with life, pressure loses its grip, calm becomes natural. Power becomes sustainable. May you train your calm. May you release what is unnecessary. May your strength be steady, your mind be clear, you and your path be light. Bend, walk forward with discipline, with presence and with quiet power.